Nice, man. Nice, man.
Sagita, thank you for asking. Sagitas, where are you going?
We are going to countryside to the friend places here. We go to hang out in by the water, among the stars, in a little space corner, in a space station. One of the where I was parked. I don't know, maybe 4 months. The last time I've been living there, my brother's place. So
Nice.
that, yeah, my place just came from Sweden to visit Lithuania.
Nice. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
It's nice to be here with you gentlemen. Um, what is most exciting coming up for the next few days for you gentlemen? I'm leaving to Dubai today, so that's what's most exciting for me.
That's very exciting.
All right. What's up in Dubai? What are you up to?
I'm speaking at a couple different investor summits about what we're doing on the mission.
Okay, great. Like a spearhead breaking through.
Yeah, this has been my life, bro. Spearhead. This is what I this is how I live my life, is focusing on making sure that we're moving forward. But it's also important to have deep conversations with our brothers that are helping us behind the scenes. And I think this is part of it all, right? Is fundamentally, I may be the spear, but there's a whole army behind me that is holding up the spear. And I'm very grateful because without those warriors behind me and those wise men and women behind me, uh, next to me, above me, below me, around me, I could never be the spear.
Yeah, we never do it alone.
No. But this takes a lot of uncomfortable conversations that create more camaraderie, and having the awareness to have difficult conversations and be very vulnerable allows me to strengthen our bonds, because I can't expect somebody or require somebody to believe in what we're doing on a collective spectrum if I'm not willing to go to the depths of my uh, opportunity of growth, my opportunities of growth.
So what excites you the most going to that trip? Is it like, do you have any, yeah,
Uh, Sharing the vision, also sharing that we're doing it, sharing the fact that we have a great team. And the focal point is really we need working capital, so generating income for the team, for us all, because we need right now what is for an organization, small capital outlay, but for a family or, a group of us, it's big money, right? So it's important to be willing to share that in an open way without expectation or needs or things like this, but more about, hey, this is where we're at. We are moving the mission. We have a lot of people around us, but we got to still take care of the capital and the people. And we got to take care of those people. So if I'm not willing to say it, then what kind of a spearhead am I? So
Yeah, I've been part of too many companies where they they had an incredible vision and they wanted to do big things. But at the end of the day, they proved that they were willing to sacrifice some of their humanity and damage the people helping them to get there. And
Yeah.
time and time again, I would tell them, I was like, look, is that success or is that failure to you? You know, you have to answer that yourself. And never got a clear answer other than through their actions of continuing to do so. But
Well, this is where integrity comes in, and this is why our partner group is so connected, because we're not connected. We're connected so deep on the spiritual side, but that actually then strengthens us on the fiduciary side of saying, hey, this is the budget, this is where we're at, this is where we're going, this is where we're over budget. What do we need? Do we need to create a loan? Do we need to get a personal guarantee? Do we need to find so these kind of beginning stages of a really global organization is what's exciting for me because I get to discover and create a lot of challenging conversations to focus on getting the things going forward. And so it's so important to have somebody in my corner, and I have many people, but my co-founder, who has been a big part of a lot of the fundamentals on the business side, Lau, is just able to educate me in things that I am get to learn about him deeper and deeper. And so his ability to be so grounded and able to connect with me, but also hold my energy and the space of seriousness and intensity. He has the power of mirroring my energy and then educating me with intellect.
it's amazing to have partners like that.
Yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed. We're so blessed to have Lau on our team. And you know, Hugo and Sagitas and May, our CFO, like we're a good group of focusing on making these things happen. And without the five of us, we don't go. So
How is how is
teamwork,
with the
team.
Jason? Is it kind of like where he did it disappear kind of? Or he's busy.
Yeah, so well, I just had a conversation today with Foster briefly about, you know, what's happening with Jason, because he has fallen off the face of the earth, but he's doing his best and taking care of his family as well. So we have to be compassionate in those experiences and understand that it's not absolute. It's just what he's doing what he needs to do best at this moment in time, right?
And you going with Lau, right? You flying
And
together? Three of
Hugo as well.
the boys on adventure.
Yeah, the three of us will be there as a team.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like Nicholas, I'd love to get curious about some of your questions. I didn't get to go over it, but maybe we could go over it now if you feel like that's valuable.
Of course, yeah, if that's okay with you guys. Um, so
Fuck
I
yeah.
was, what's that?
Fuck yeah. Definitely okay. Go.
Thank you, Sagitas. So Okay, let me see here. So I'm grasping a good bit of it. I think I might be mixing revenue streams with all the areas in the business model. So I have some clarifying questions here. So I was saying,
I have a question. Like, if you can give a little context, where is the questions coming from? From the, did you watch the deck, or like what
yeah,
is the? Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I looked through the deck,
That's cool.
and I love it. I what I see is a lot of wasted energy being captured, like you were saying, and then being redistributed into areas that will help multiple different industries, um, and not just like tech industries, but also sustainability and even finance with the Bitcoin. Um, my first question is, can you talk more about what made you want to include cryptocurrency in this at all?
So one of the things that I emphasized, and I said this yesterday at when I was with the ministers of Alberta, is that it's not crypto, it's Bitcoin. Whenever we
Okay.
use crypto as a language, we are hearing noise. So crypto is in our world shit. It's shit coins, it's alternative coins. It's something that we want nothing to do with, and I'm not interested in having a conversation with somebody that uses that language. So I'm very clear on making sure that we are showing highest level of integrity by focusing on Bitcoin only ecosystems, because cryptocurrency is pre-existing mined 70% of their tokens, and a few group of people get to or choose to operate and own it. Bitcoin is decentralized, it's scalable, and it's secure, which is what they call the Bitcoin trilemma. And so this fundamental responsibility is a huge and key difference. And adding Bitcoin to the ecosystem is a must for it to be the catalyst of sustainable energy.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Based on what we talked about yesterday and how finances work and how it needs to change, I figured your answer might be something like that. I want to do more. I did a little bit of research on it yesterday. I want to do a little bit more uh, because I'm digging what you're saying.
I love it. And if you want, we have so many books for like Austrian economics, or different books that I can send you from Saifedean Ammous and things like this, the principles of
I love it.
economics, and these meaningful books that we can send your way, Nicholas, if you
Sorry
want.
about that. I actually just hit the back button on accident.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
I was just sharing. I was just sharing that if you wanted books or anything along the lines, like the Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous, or anything on Austrian economics, or focusing on principles of economics and human action,
Yeah.
we can definitely send you a list.
Yeah. Please do. I would be very
And
interested.
also, I would like to a little bit elaborate on the question you asked, like why
Hmm.
Bitcoin. Change the question. So why Bitcoin is because it gives that opportunity. It gives also that Bitcoin is a technology that allows us to use wasted energy to benefit the whole world. And so that decentralization of energy, right? That Bitcoin allows us to capture that wasted energy from anywhere else, anywhere around the whole planet. It doesn't matter. It can be standing in Alaska and there's no one around that is needed energy. So Bitcoin can be like, in that case, you can mine Bitcoin and support the network and make it more secure.
Yeah. I'm hearing it's just another way to transmute that energy into
Correct.
something that's not only profitable for
And it's not wasted.
people
Yeah.
involved, profitable for everybody, literally people who aren't involved, and it improves and builds on more of the society that we as human beings talk that we like act like we want, um, regardless of the politician's actions.
One thing also that Bitcoin allows us as a technology, and it's we just scratching the surface, right? So we just like in the first steps of figuring it out what actually that technology allows, but it allows us to use that energy to reuse it again and reuse it again and reuse it again into until the last molecular kind of we can. So it's the efficiency goes to the nano kind of possibilities. We still like, of course, it's gonna take. So we're literally unlocking the abundance of energy around the world.
Yeah, it's a huge stack, and
It is.
yeah, that's really cool. And it at every piece of the stack, it's adding value and saving wasted energy for the next piece, and that's really awesome. And I see, okay, Bitcoin is a piece of that. And there's lots of pieces. I like how greenhouses are a piece of that. Let me see here.
Yeah. So from mining, mining is super. How to say? I don't want to use even the word anymore. Sustainable. But it's like we can run Bitcoin miners from the wasted energy, and then we can have around build greenhouses, reuse the heat, to recapture the heat and use it to grow veggies, to grow whatever is needed.
Right.
It produces the heat. It's like there's a lot like, and this is just that's what we put it out so far, I guess. But
Right.
there is like people entering the house heating systems with Bitcoin mining, so it's kind of it becomes very widely used technology, and it's going to be just more and more like some people say we're not going to use any energy source without mining Bitcoin as a side in the future. But that's of course a big exaggeration.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That was my next question about how y'all see this expanding uh, past greenhouses and into other areas. Because I see that saying greenhouses is a first step and a general term for helping grow food, which is amazing. Okay.
That's one of the things how they can reuse energy. So imagine energy. It's that's only one way. That's only one
Mhm.
example what I shared, and there is abundance of examples how we can recapture heat. So the thing is
Right.
also we can recapture cold, or like reheat the coal if we need. Also, it's like it's
We
cold too
actually want
hot
to get
for.
away from coal, Sagitas. We want to get away from coal, especially here in Alberta on a global
No, no,
level.
no,
And
cold, like heat and cold, not cold.
oh, sorry, I thought you said coal. My apologies, brother.
Gotcha.
No,
Gotcha.
no, no.
Yeah. Well, and that actually, so Sagitas, you answered like one and a half of my questions, and then that leads into another one, which is uh, here. I'll read it here. So, okay, I see that it helps with grid stability by offering more places, um, by offering more. What am I trying to say here? Let me read this first. Um, Okay, yeah, it helps with grid stability by offering more places to pull power from, like these generators, using the natural gas to industries that are growing, industries that we want to grow and believe that it will help civilization in the future, like AI data centers. And I see you've mentioned chip manufacturing. Um, so they can pull energy from that area, not all from the same source like everybody else. And this is all coming from natural gas to the turbines. Is that correct? or is there another source that it's coming from?
Yeah, so it's natural gas going into power, electricity from the turbines,
Mhm.
and also fun or creating Bitcoin mines. So we also are discovering maybe another piece where we can actually have a steam drum. So today we had a discussion about going into gas turbine, Bitcoin mine, and a steam turbine as well. So it might add even more efficiency. And then from this heat, we can actually turn that back into more electricity and then reuse just this continuous cycle loop that creates even more whether it's Bitcoin, heat, and being able to then create more food security, food sovereignty. Uh, Even like we were looking, like listening yesterday, I was talking to, and they're saying how the carbon, like the CO2 credits, are able to be utilized for something even more beneficial for the future with other technologies that may or may not be available right now. But yeah, just having the identification of knowing how we can be completely reusable and
Mhm.
regenerative, which is ultimately what, sustainability should be standing for, is not sustaining but regenerating. Uh,
Mhm.
and people use the sustainable goals, but really, from my perspective, it's regenerative goals. But yeah, we'll
No,
get it.
I like that actually. That's good. Okay. And okay, that's cool. And I'm wondering if there's a way to one day in the future capture uh, other forms of energy like sound from
Ooh,
refineries and from the turbines.
I love where you're going. This is cool. That's a massive topic.
Right. The losses are insane. And people are, for a long time have tried to find solutions. There are solutions.
For
I
sound capturing.
One more time.
For sound and what do you mean sound energy?
Well, every time
Noise?
you produce energy, there's all these losses, and one of the largest losses is, like you were saying, heat. Um, and another massive loss is sound. Energy that's generated is transformed into all these different types of energy, and one of them is sound. And if you can harness some of that sound in an efficient way, this is way in the future. I don't know that technology is there yet, but that would just be another way to reuse lost energy. But I agree that heat is probably the first thing to go for.
So in other words, like if I would like recapture that, it would be what you're saying is to to capture the noise literally and transfer it into energy to use as electricity, for example. Is that even possibility?
Yeah, there are some, I don't know if it was MIT or not, but some big universities created something, I thought, that it was like a panel that absorbed, it didn't absorb the vibrations, but it vibrated as sound waves hit it, and it may have generated some kind of electricity. I don't think it was efficient whatsoever, but it something like that will, I think, need to be a hurdle to cross in the future. Just
But this is super cool because like the way I hear is like what you're saying is like if we can capture and we can transform noise into something else, right? And it doesn't have to be electricity and other kind of energy source. So when we build miners, we build those what's the name? The turbines, and they are super noisy. And that's one of the problem. Like so they generate a lot of noise. And this is something I think kind of very cool. It gives extra. interest right there, or like incentive even. Miners itself is very low. Yeah, miners.
Right. Yeah, when I mean we have these machine all this energy is around us and we have these machines that transform the energy into different kinds of energy and the fact that they get hot and make noise and all these other things is just a testament to how inefficient they are, and how much advancement we have to do as a civilization. But um, as a band-aid in the relatively near future, it would be cool to recapture that lost energy. The best thing would to be just to just make more efficient machines that don't have energy loss. But that's like outside of the what's possible now and the scope of the company. But yeah, I just wanted to say,
It's cool to open that potential.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the refineries that are being used are what kind of refineries are they? I mean, are they like I are they going to be coal refineries initially, or are we staying away from those, or what's your vision there?
Yeah, we want to stay away from coal-powered assets. We want to get away completely from coal power, uh, because we have so much natural gas. We're the fourth largest natural gas reserve in the planet. And by creating LNG opportunities, we can actually distribute and heal a lot of China's coal-powered plants as well. So instead of them using the coal, we can actually send LNG over there into the future once we start figuring out the tariff problem, because there's an issue with the United States and the tariffs. But I believe that we can refine and create a really way more responsible role modeling opportunity there.
Mhm.
However, yeah, taking, where we also have way more oil than Russia, China, and the US combined. So it's by us really integrating, the oil condensate. Whenever we bring up the oil condensate, there's a huge amount of gas that's also discovered. So with that gas, we can actually then capture, turn it into power, and store whatever we need in whichever way. But fundamentally, uh, it creates a real regenerative capacity to then integrate it for the community's benefit, and shows the sovereign ability for us as a province to actually capture and work together in harmony, and show as up as the freedom role model for the planet.
Yeah, it's a spark there. That's great. Could also capture water vapor from those refineries too, and send that water to the greenhouses as well, or the like liquid cooling facilities for data centers, right?
Yeah,
And
so
storing
and there
energy and
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 store
there's
that,
and,
so
and storing the vaporized air, compress it.
yeah, so we have compressed air energy storage, which we have the patent for it as well. And yeah, I mean it's exciting times.
awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Oh, I had one more question, but before that, you mentioned the tariff issue between China and the U.S. Um, I have, and I don't know if this is a solution or not, but I have a friend of mine. He's a bit of a mentor in some ways. He owns a company in Mexico that serves as a loophole for that. Um, his company is like it's essentially a storage facility, I think. I don't think they manufacture, although they have a lot of contacts. But basically, when an American company wants something manufactured and they go to China and have it manufactured, shipping it back here is insane with the tariffs. So they ship it to Mexico, which is way less. And then the Mexican tariffs to the US is extremely small as well. So people are using his company to get it to the US without those crazy tariffs. Don't know if that might would work the other way or be helpful to
Yeah,
people.
I mean, there's a lot of solutions there we would have to discuss because it's also a political importance, like to make sure that we're above board and making sure that very integral in the communication we are doing for the governments to make sure that there's a harmonious engagement, uh,
Mm-hmm.
especially at least my hallucination is like, hold on, if China is using coal because they need power or gas or whatever they need, and we have the resources to help them, then we need to figure out a way to get out of coal on a global standard and support them with natural gas. I don't give a shit if they're China, US, Russia, whatever. We need to focus on what's best for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to get out of our fucking way and figure out a solution as a team on a global standard, or else we're just doing the same shit we've always done. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, Donald Trump has said his piece about the way he wants to continue to operate. But we need to challenge those conversations and thought processes to make sure that we are able to create harmonious environments because it's not just about Donald Trump or the United States and China. It's got to be about a bigger spectrum of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not taking into that account, then we're just playing the same game as our predecessors.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I agree.
what I'm saying to that is that 100% that's going to be valuable. Uh, but we got to make sure that the conversations happen first
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because those thoughtful disagreements are going to be what creates consensus.
Mm-hmm. I love that this is centered around. I see like three big pieces here. It's capturing wasteful energy, uh, putting it towards things that aren't just profitable like most companies do, but that is good for humanity, and then doing it all in a way that is like this teamship of the world. And I think that's fantastic because that's the only way out of the bullshit.
Peaceful.
Awesome. Yeah.
The conscious economic ecosystem.
Yeah. Everybody does things for a reason, right? And
The
Nicholas,
incentives just need to be aligned to what's within, and instead of it being to something that is misrepresented. Most people don't know who the fuck they are, and they've been conditioned by a societal construct to limit themselves versus recognizing the infinite possibility of what's inside of them.
mhm.
And when most people try to limit the energy based off of stranding it from a economic downturn or a finance asset that has been manipulated in its creation, then what people choose to step into is slavery.
Mhm.
And we are way more abundant than $5,000 or $100,000 or even $1 billion. But it's not about the $1 billion. It's about the real billionaire is the one that chooses to impact a billion lives.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Without even needing anything in return, by the way. There's nothing that needs to be given or received or acknowledged. The real billionaire is willing to do it without needing to put on a pedestal.
Right. Yeah. There was some, I forget his name, but he, through the stock market, I think, became a multimillionaire or maybe a billionaire and then lost it all like several times. And he said after doing that, and living in both lives, he said the only good thing about making all that money is to be able to give it away. And then, and it's funny, every business owner I've talked to and asked for advice with, they asked me what I wanted. And when I was finished, every time they were like, it's really interesting. You didn't say anything about money. And yeah, yeah, there's a lot to say there, actually.
So there's one thing that I want to emphasize because, uh, especially with economics, when we're building a team, the first thing is the principle of human action. So it doesn't need to be about money. It needs to be about taking action to get to a space where we're able to show a proof of scalability, to have a feasible expression of what it looks like if somebody acknowledges and puts in investment.
Mm-hmm.
And having that healthy expression of what investment looks like means that there's accuracy in the optics. Because without a proper structure, which is a corporate structure or an organization or something like this, it falls to the ground. Or an organism, right? I mean, think of the structure of the organism of our planet, of nature. It's an organism, it's a structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by being able to build a structure around this type of organism, we can then emphasize and call into to service people or human capital based off of their social ability to follow a narrative that they internally know as their purpose. And that creates leverage because by identifying those levels of wisdom within each other, we can create and benefit the greater whole as a shared purpose. And then finally, the thing that makes it all grow to a scalable perspective is optics. So language of business is numbers, and numbers need to be loved, and we need to love numbers. And by showcasing the importance of those optics, we can then ask for more energy, meaning require and say, hey, this is what we need to grow and not have any ill will or feeling about it because we've built the structure, we've cultivated the leverage, and we've navigated the optics so that any outside investor from their logical mind is able to create from the logos, pathos, ethos, meaning the logic, the emotion, and the ethics, to step into their higher self and say, hey, this is a great opportunity to invest our energy, our money, our time because it's allowing me to step into a purposeful, impactful, conscious investment standpoint to serve the greater good. And from that place is like, that's where growth happens. Because if we're not growing, we're dying.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Does that make
Love it.
sense?
It more than makes sense. It puts into words where I feel like we should be going. Uh, the disdain that I've gotten from being in 9 to 5s in the past, and knowing the direction we should go as like the collective we, not just as the company. Uh, it feels like you put that into words just then really, really better than I did. So yeah, I love
And
it.
and I think that from this ability to communicate it in this capacity allows then to attract all the funding that's ever necessary because from that place, people know that it's not actually a return on investment. It's a return to society.
Right. Yeah, and to be honest, like that's the people that we want. right?
Right.
That's the people that you want on your team. That's the people that you want to invest, because those are the ones who you know are in it with their heart and for the right reasons. You know?
And by the way, they'll become very wealthy at the same time.
Yes.
Financially, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, socially, all of that. They'll become very wealthy. They'll get the
Mhm.
5 dimensions of wealth instead of the 1 dimension of just finance.
Right.
And that's so much more exciting.
Right. And the doors are, I mean, how it's built is the doors are wide open for everyone else to hop in and follow suit, do the same thing, and become wealthy in that same way.
Right, because then we're working together and recognizing, hold on, this playground is called planet Earth, and we're
Mhm.
building it as a team, and
Right.
we don't need to limit ourselves or each other. We can actually emphasize each other's growth and
Mhm.
encourage each other's wisdom and see each other for the real beings that we are.
Could not agree more.
Nicholas, I'm
This is
curious
why,
about your perspective on a deck, like from your intuitive awareness. Do you have any like how does that flow for you when you were going through?
Oh, ask that one more time.
I'm curious about the deck from your awareness about natural flow or how did I say it? The intuitiveness.
Oh yeah. Um, 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 um. There might be a few slides I would rearrange, or maybe reorder. But that really is so heavily on the target audience, right? Um, there, I like the illustration of the business plan, and I like that it was an illustration instead of a paragraph. Um, it makes it way more understandable. Uh, it might be nice to generalize some of the steps in the business plan a bit more, or use less specific vehicles, unless the vehicles that you're like the turbine and the refinery and things like this are completely like that's what we're doing first. Um, if steps in that business plan aren't exactly what you're doing first, uh,
they are.
then I would either use a more
They are.
general term or oh they are okay, got you.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's a key emphasis of bringing the oil and gas because
mhm,
what it is we are an energy company. We are
mhm,
not a Bitcoin company. We are an energy company focused on energy and vertical integration.
mhm.
So it's really important for anybody that's listening is that they're seeing that this is not some old concept. This is a concept that's been around for a very long time, and we're just able to put all of the pieces together.
Right, right.
Because what we've had all the tools, all the tech, all the appreciation, all of that fundamentals have been in place for a very long time. What we've been missing is leadership.
Yeah. So looking at the deck, the slide problems we address. If you go to an investor who's completely, who is like I was, completely new to this idea, um, it might be helpful to include a slide before this that explains why those pieces are necessary, the purpose, the outcome that we want, why it's the emotion behind it, and why it's helpful for everyone. to include these chunks? Because for me, when we hopped into problems we address, questions of, okay, this is great, but why are these the gas market challenges, energy inefficiencies, Bitcoin mining struggles, investor vulnerability? Why are those the things that were chosen? And I mean, hearing you talk, I get it now. Uh, and I assumed there were reasons like this, right? Which is great. It just might be helpful to give a background to that first.
Yeah, this is great point. So there's going to be two additional slides here.
Hmm.
The first one be for the harmonized energy capital labor is going to be my why, which is going to emphasize the what I call the foundations of awakening and bridging together, going from an unconscious creator to a conscious integrator, and stepping through from unconscious creator to conscious creator to conscious leader to conscious entrepreneur to finally conscious integrator, and emphasizing the importance of scarcity to abundance mindsets, and then showing the resilience growth curve that cultivates our purpose as a community developed economic platform by raising our vibrational frequencies into a shared purpose. And that's then what emphasizes of bringing that all back together for integrating energy solutions uh, through different experts, and then bridging that back down to the problems that are currently being engaged in
Mm.
climate control or environmental ESG models, so that we can focus on a regenerative model. And so then I bring that all together. So
Cool.
I appreciate you emphasizing and expressing this importance, because those are the two slides that are important I go over at the beginning. Even though I only have 10 minutes to really communicate these, uh,
Oh, really?
you know,
Wow.
I'm not gonna go, through all the numbers and the details and all these things. That's gonna be
Yeah.
something that is just a quick slide through, but I'm really talking more to the why on this.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that'll be perfect then. If you do that, and like you were saying, uh, talk about the big chunks of what we can all work on together to turn that why into reality, and then dig into, okay, for these chunks, here's our reality. We waste energy. Here's the finance issues and why we're introducing Bitcoin and things like that. And like
Right.
that's
And
that's
this is
great.
one of the things too that Sheikh Zayed, who is the founder of the UAE, so I'll be really intersecting the component of his experience in the way that he was able to spend time with the indigenous Bedouin tribes and
Mm,
really emphasize the importance of herding, agriculture, water, and energy as bringing those tribes together. He was able to then bring the United Arab Emirates together, and it's part of the history of the nation, which is the founder of UAE, and a key component of why the UAE is thriving now because of his ability to see that. So I'll be able to cross pollinate and intersect those understandings, because most people that are going to be there, especially from the royal family, are going to be able to resonate with that really deeply.
nice, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
let's
all
see
in
here.
my mind. It's all in my heart, actually, not in my mind.
Yes, I like that. This next slide here, multiple revenue streams,
Yep.
listing the streams. It
Yep.
I love how you had the illustration of the business model, because there's so much going on, and a picture is amazing in that way to really illustrate that. And I'm wondering if something similar might be helpful here, because I see things that are more high level: heat sales, electricity sales, gas sales. I can grasp that. Carbon credit sales, cool. I can grasp all that. Um, the fact that, or well, I guess I don't know if it's a fact or not. um, it based on my limited understanding, it seems like these sales are coming from different places at different areas in the business model, and having them at least grouped in that way like some of these things under heat sales, some of these things under electricity sales, might be helpful,
Mm.
or are they each their own section? And am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, so I mean, they're all different components, but they're all part of the one business model. So what I mean by that is that in our formula and in the finance, all of these are actually part of the one economic model that allows us to then scale, because what we want to emphasize is the vertical integration, that it
Yeah.
is by us doing this um, as a team, it gives us the ability to activate all of these different income streams. Like, we're even now creating or teaming up with a major Bitcoin chip designer that was the ones that created Bitmain,
Hmm.
to create our own chips to be able to manufacture our own ASICs into the future. So they want to really team up. So these are going to be key differences. So literally, that means that no salesperson or uh, no manufacturer, nobody's going to be able to tell us what the price is, because we're going to be able to build everything ourselves. We'll be able to do everything in house. So they won't be able
Okay.
to price fluctuate any of the things. Uh, the only thing that we won't have in house yet uh, is the CHP, the combined heat and power turbines. But my hallucination is that it will happen at some point.
For sure. Yeah. And that feeds into my next question of, so the first thing is acquiring the engineering company to create some of the infrastructure for this, the
Correct.
foundation of the infrastructure. And then the midterm piece was getting LPs and other capex to kind of fill the gaps with the rest of the business plan. Is that true?
Yep. Correct.
Okay. And then you answered my question, which was like, it's all in house. It's not, it's a vertically integrated thing, like you were saying, um, meaning it's not just a partnership with other outside companies. It's all one company, vertically integrated, like you were saying. Okay, got it. I'm clear on that now.
And so everybody is benefiting, everybody is winning, everyone is harmonized and focused on solution. Fellas, I'm sorry, but I have to run because I have a meeting with an amazing woman here about possibly being an investor, maybe possibly, spending time in our organization as even more of an advisor. So let's I gotta run because I'm going to meet her for coffee. And and then I got to fly to Dubai. So
Amazing.
yeah, I love
Thank
you
you so much
guys.
for
Thank
answering
you.
the
Thank
questions.
you for these questions. I'm very, very grateful that you are allowing me to emphasize the importance of uh, just solidifying my presence in the way that I choose to operate, whether it's, in a conversation like this or when I'm speaking to 1,000 people, it'll be just the same, because I'm so grounded by having curious questions like this that are allowing me to then uh, easily navigate a new space of awareness. So thank you, Nicholas. I really appreciate you. And thank you, Freedom and Sagitas, for being here.
Thank you for your time, Robert. Enjoy your
Yeah,
journey.
thank you guys. Thanks a lot for answering all the questions. That was really great.
Thanks, man. And yeah, if there's anything I can do, please let me know.
Sure, man. You too. Thanks a lot.
Hey.
Have fun in Dubai.